Good morning, dear listeners. In today's lesson, we will teach the technical movements of the Qaytarma technique. The Qaytarma technique is very similar to the previous Kurash Yuklama technique. However, there are slight differences in the gripping and execution sequence. We should pay more attention to that. We grip the opponents by the arm during the hand gripping exchange. When the opponent runs toward us, we receive and apply this technique. When we receive the opponent, the technique is especially effective when the opponent is attempting a yombosh technique, when the opponent is losing, or it's also a very good and convenient technique for beginners also. To perform this technique well, the Kurash's physical condition must be well developed. To apply any counter technique correctly, a Kurashchi must have strong sensing and timing ability. If we can feel the opponent's movement and receive it at the right moment, the technique will not be performed incorrectly and will be completed to the end. When the opponent makes a move against us and tries to apply a technique, understand that he doesn't enter the gilam to be thrown. On the contrary, he initiates an attack against us. During his attack, whether we want it or not, he grips our sleeve and rushes toward us. This technique is especially received when the opponent makes a sharp movement toward us or when he is losing and attacks aggressively. When demonstrate the situation when the opponent grips us, the opponent holds our sleeve and at the same time we grip his sleeve from the above his arm. When the opponent runs and jumps toward us, our hand moves to the front of the opponent's waist and belt area. This is because when performing this technique, after lifting the opponent and striking him with our body and abdominal area, the technique will be executed by rotating the opponent over our hip area. Therefore, when we bring the hand across to the side, it becomes much easier for us to execute this technique correctly and bring it to completion. When we demonstrate this technique from this side, the opponent attacks, we receive him, lift him, carry him across our back, and by rotating through the hip area and turning backward, we can then take a step forward facing ahead. We will now demonstrate the execution of this technique. When performing the technique, just as with every technique, we must pay very close attention to maintaining control of the opponent. This is very important to take control of the opponent's arm. If we release the grip, rotational situations may occur and the technique may not be completed fully. Mistakes may happen or the opponent may rotate out while we are executing the technique. Therefore, as mentioned earlier, while performing this technique, we must maintain sharp focus and continuously sense the opponent's leg movements and hand movements. That is so important. The more sensitive and aware we are, the better the technique will be executed. If we hesitate while performing this technique, then, like any technique performed with doubt or fear, it will not reach completion. Therefore, when performing every technique, we must commit to finishing it. And hand movements must also be taken into account during the execution. That is so important to pay attention to hand movements. Dear learners, in this video lesson, we have once again demonstrated the technique step by step and completed it fully. I hope that by carefully watching the lesson, you will be able to understand and master the technique well. This lesson serves as a strong and effective learning resource for mastering Kurash techniques.